my name is Amanda Mayo, and I'm a student at the University of Kentucky. I'm currently a master's student, and I'm pursuing my master's in communication. And I'm on the search for PhD programs that put an emphasis on teaching. So the reason why I'm looking for a PhD program that puts an emphasis on teaching is because I was able to have the honor to teach ISC 261 this semester, which is a class that I was able to teach a lab every Friday, and I fell in love with teaching. I understood my genuine joy for it, and so I understood what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, which was teaching. So that's why I'm looking for a PhD program that puts an emphasis in teaching, and I would be honored to be a part of your program. So to begin, I'm going to show you how I would structure a course that has to do with ethics. So the course I have structured today is for ISC 311, which is a course that the University of Kentucky has on ethics. And it's really a crucial course for our students, any students in any major, but especially media majors that have to do with communications to have, because it teaches them about their personal ethics, about business ethics, about ethical issues, and about social issues. So it's a really well-rounded course for students to understand and to be able to become a well-rounded employee or a well-rounded professional once they graduate. So for the first portion of the class, I would have them learn about their personal ethics. And this is important because many of the students who I've encountered don't really understand what their personal ethics are, or that you can have personal ethics as an ISC professional or as a media professional. So it's very important for them to understand this, and I would teach them situations that they might be put in, such as maybe they don't believe in alcohol, but they work for an ad agency that tells them you're going to work on a campaign for an alcohol agency, and maybe that professional doesn't want to do it because they don't believe in it, because it violates one of their personal ethics, but they go to their boss, and their boss tells them, well, if you don't work on this campaign, then you're fired. Those are some of the tough positions that ISC professionals and communication professionals might be put into. So it's really important for our students to understand what their personal ethics are so they know when they feel like their personal ethic has been violated. And as mentioned before, a tough position that a ISC professional might be put into is if they say they don't want to work on a campaign or they don't want to work with something because it violates one of their personal ethics. Their boss might not be sympathetic and tell them, well, if you don't work for this campaign or you don't work on this campaign, then you're fired. And a perfect movie to show them an example of this is Thank You for Smoking. And Thank You for Smoking basically details the main character's journey of violating his personal ethics and business ethics by selling cigarettes and making them seem safe and good for you. And he explains that the reason why he's doing this is because he can't lose his job, because he needs to support his family, he needs to pay the mortgage on his house, which he mentions multiple times during the movie. So it's a very important movie to show students because they need to understand that this might happen one day where they do have to work for something that violates their personal ethics, but they have to do it because of the position that they're in. So the next book I would show them, or the next book I would have them read is Trust Me, I'm Lying, and it's a book by Ryan Holiday. It's a really important book for ISC students to read and any person in any communication major because it showcases Ryan Holiday's first-person experiences as a media professional, having to violate his personal ethics, having to do illegal activities to be able to become a media professional and be able to keep his job. And so it's a really important book to show them because they can read a first-person account from a media professional who actually did these things and how he felt about it and what he did. So it's really important for them to read. So next would be teaching them about business ethics. And with business ethics, it would essentially teach them that maybe they work for someone who's doing some kind of illegal activity and they would have to question themselves, do I become a whistleblower or do I continue to work for this person because yet again they need their job? And if you don't notice who the first picture is, it's Bernie Madoff, who is very infamous in American history. He committed one of the biggest Ponzi schemes. So say they were working as a PR professional for him and they were marketing to his clients how great he is and how he can help them double their money, how he can help them with their stocks, and say they learn that he's lying and he's actually committing illegal activities by embezzling all this money and essentially breaking his clients. Does that ISC professional become a whistleblower and tell the authorities about what Bernie Madoff is doing, or do they continue to work for him because they need their job? And this is really important questions to ask of themselves because they need to understand that it's legal and that they need to understand how they feel about it, how they stand for it. And then we would also teach the core values such as truth, honesty, responsibility, diligence. It's really important for them to have these core values installed in them before they go into the workforce, because we don't want them to get in trouble. We don't want them to represent our university this way, and we don't want them to represent themselves this way. So next, for an activity to have them understand about ethics is I would have them write a paper about a CEO, a ISC professional, a PR professional, anyone who is in the professional world that has to do with ISC or communications. I'd have them write a 5-page paper about that person and what they did to violate their ethics and how they felt about it and basically what they did. And then at the end of the paper, the student would write what they would do if they were put into the position that that professional was put into. How would they react? And then for that paper, they would have a 5-minute presentation towards the end of the semester where they would present to their fellow students about this person and basically just telling them about what this person did, whether or not that person violated any of their personal ethics that they hold true to them, and how they would react in the situation of that person. It would basically just really help students to learn that ethics really isn't black and white, it's in color. There's many different issues, many different situations that come about. They're not all the same, and students really need to understand this. They need to understand what's legal, what's illegal in ethics and in the business world. They need to know what their personal ethics are. And the main thing that I want to instill into the students that I teach is about their personal ethics, because it's a really crucial thing for them to learn. Because say you go and you work for this company and you end up saying yes to working on that alcohol campaign for that ad agency, even though it violates your personal ethics. Are you going to feel okay with that at the end of the day, or are you going to feel really guilty? So is it worth it to lose your job for your sense of mind? And these are really difficult questions. I feel like our students need to question of themselves. They need to learn about these things so that way they understand what all can happen. And then finally, the main thing overall that I want to instill into our students is they need to know ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. And this is a really important thing to get across to our students, because maybe it's legal to do it. It's legal, it's perfectly fine to do it. You know, it's perfectly fine to sell alcohol, it's perfectly legal to advertise it. However, is it the right thing for them to do? Would it violate their personal ethic? Would they be okay with themselves advertising this alcohol or being on a campaign for alcohol when they don't believe in it? And it's truly important for our students to understand everything that they need to know about ethics, and it just helps them become a well-rounded individual. It helps them in the ISC professional world, because genuinely we don't want them to get in trouble. We don't want them to do illegal activities. And this can go both ways, because the students need to know what is the wrong thing to do, because even though they might feel okay about it, if it is illegal, then they most likely need to stop what they're doing. So it's important to teach them both sides of the spectrum, that even if they feel right about it but it's illegal, then it is still wrong. Even if it's legal and they don't feel good about it, then it might be wrong for them. So it's really important to teach them everything that they need to know about ethics and about ISC, so that way they become well-rounded individuals one day. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. I would love to be able to come in for an interview. If you have any questions you need to ask me, you can contact me at my email at cjmayo88@uky.edu. I would be more than happy to speak with you or answer any questions that you have. And I will have my email linked down below in the description box, and I will also be more than willing to meet for an interview anytime, any day. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.